Marley was dead. To begin with. There is no doubt whatsoever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Scrooge signed it. Scrooge was his sole executor, his sole administrator, his sole friend, and his sole mourner. And even Scrooge was not so dreadfully cut up about the sad event, but that he was an excellent man of business, and on the very day of the funeral solemnized it with an undoubted bargain. Marley was as dead as a doornail. Once upon a time, of all the good days of the year, on Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting-house, keeping his eye upon his clerk, who at his desk was copying letters.
Merry Christmas, Uncle!
Bah! Humbug!
Christmas a humbug, Uncle? You don't mean that, I'm sure.
I do. Merry Christmas. What right have you to be merry? What reason have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
Come then. What right have you to be dismal? What reason have you to be morose? You're rich enough.
Bah! Humbug!
Oh, don't be cross, Uncle.
What else can I be when I live in such a world of fools as this? Merry Christmas! Out upon Merry Christmas! What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money? A time for finding yourself a year older, but not an hour richer? If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas upon his lips should be boiled with his own pudding, and buried with a stake of holly through his heart.
Oh, Uncle!
Nephew! Keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it? But you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone, then. Much good it may do you. Much good it has ever done you.
There are many things from which I might have derived good, by which I have not profited. I dare say Christmas among the rest. But I am sure I have always thought of Christmas as a good time, a kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time. And therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe that it has done me good, and will do me good. And I say, God bless it!
Hear, hear.
Let me hear another word from you, Bob Cratchit, and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation. You're quite a powerful speaker, sir. I wonder you shouldn't go into Parliament.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come, dine with us tomorrow.
I would see myself stripped of every penny and sent to a workhouse, or committed to the asylum at Bedlam before celebrating on the morrow.
But why? Why?
Why did you get married against my will?
Because I fell in love.
Because you fell in love? Good afternoon.
Nay, Uncle. But you never came to see me before that happened. Why give it a reason for not coming now?
Good afternoon.
I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you. Why cannot we be friends?
Good afternoon.
I am sorry with all my heart to find you so resolute. We have never had any quarrel to which I have been party. But I have made the trial in homage to Christmas, and I'll keep my Christmas humour to the last. So, a Merry Christmas, Uncle!
Good afternoon!
And a Happy New Year!
Good afternoon!
Merry Christmas, Bob!
Oh, Merry Christmas, sir.
There's another fellow, my clerk, with 15 shillings a week and a wife and family talking about a Merry Christmas. I shall retire to Bedlam. Do-gooders. Expecting more festive charity, I'll be bound.
Good afternoon, Scrooge and Marley's, I believe. Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead these 7 years. He died 7 years ago this very night.
We have no doubt his liberality is well represented by his surviving partner.
At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, it is more than usually desirable that we should make some slight provision for the poor and destitute, who suffer greatly at the present time.
Many thousands are in want of common necessities. Hundreds of thousands are in want of common comforts, sir.
Are there no prisons?
Oh, plenty of prisons.
And the union workhouses, are they still in operation?
They are still. I wish I could say they were not.
The treadmill and the poor law are in full vigour then?
Both very busy, sir.
I'm very glad to hear it. I was afraid from what you said at first that something had occurred to stop them in their useful cause.
Oh, they scarcely furnish Christian cheer of mind or body to the multitude.
A few of us are endeavouring to raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink, and means of warmth. We chose this time because it is a time of all others, when want is keenly felt and abundance rejoices. What shall I put you down for?
Nothing.
Ah, you wish to remain anonymous.
I wish to be left alone. Since you asked me what I wish, that is my answer. I don't make myself merry at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry either. I help support the prisons and the workhouses, and they cost enough. And those who are badly off must go there.
Many can't go there. Many would rather die.
If they would rather die, then they had better do it, and decrease the surplus population. It's enough for a man to understand his own business, and not to interfere with other people's. Mine occupies me constantly. Good afternoon to you both.
Oh, well, farewell, Mr. Scrooge, and...
Good afternoon! You want all day tomorrow, I suppose, Cratchit?
If it's quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair. If I were to stop you half a crown for it, you'd think yourself ill-used, I'll be bound. And yet you don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work.
It's only once a year, sir.
A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose you must have the whole day. But be here all the earlier the next morning.
I will, sir.
What? What? Humbug! It's humbug still! I won't believe it!
Ebenezer Scrooge.
How now? What do you want with me?
March.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Who were you then? You're very particular for a spirit?
In life I was your partner, Jacob Marley. You don't believe in me.
I don't.
What evidence would you have of my reality beyond that of your own senses?
Because a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheats. You might be an undigested bit of beef, a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of underdone potato. There's more gravy of the grave about you, whatever you are. Mercy, dreadful apparition, why do you trouble me?
Man of worldly mind, do you believe in me?
I do, I must. But why do spirits walk the earth, and why do they come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad among his fellow men. And if that spirit goes not forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death.
You are fettered. Tell me why.
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link and yard by yard. I girded it of my own free will, and of my own free will I wore it. Is its pattern strange to you? Or would you know the weight and length of the strong coil you bear yourself? It was full and heavy and long as this, 7 Christmas Eves ago. You have laboured on it since. It is a ponderous chain.
Jacob, oh Jacob Marley, tell me more. Speak comfort to me, Jacob.
I have none to give. It comes from other regions, Ebenezer Scrooge, and is conveyed by other ministers to other kinds of men. Nor can I tell you what I would, as very little more is permitted to me. I cannot rest, I cannot stay, I cannot linger anywhere. My spirit never walked beyond our counting-house, mark me. In life my spirit never roved beyond the narrow limits of our money-changing hole, and weary journeys lie before me.
You might have gotten over a great quantity of ground in 7 years.
Oh, captive bound and double ironed, not to know that incessant labour by immortal creatures, not to know that no space of regret can make amends for one's life's opportunities misused. Yet such was I, oh, such was I.
But you were always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business? Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, and benevolence were all my business. The dealings of my trade were but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business. At this time of the rolling year I suffer most. Why did I walk through crowds of fellow beings with my eyes turned down, and never raise them to that blessed star which led the wise men to a poor abode? Were there no poor homes to which its light would have conducted me? Hear me, my time is nearly gone.
I will, but don't be hard upon me.
How it is that I appear before you in a shape that you can see, I may not tell. I have sat invisible beside you many and many a day. That is no light part of my penance. I am here tonight to warn you that you have yet a chance and hope of escaping my fate. A chance and hope of my procuring Ebenezer.
You are always a good friend to me. Thank ye.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow, when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take them all at once and have it over, Jacob?
Expect the second on the next night, at the same hour. The third upon the next night, when the last stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate. Look to see me no more, and look that for your own sake you remember what has passed between us. Farewell, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Ah, humbug. 1:15, 1:30, 1/4 to it, the hour itself, and nothing else. Are you the spirit, sir, whose coming was foretold to me?
I am.
Who and what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
You glow so bright it hurts my eyes. Would you consider dimming your light?
What? Would you so soon put out with worldly hands the light I give? Is it not enough that you are one of those whose passions dull my glow and force me through trains of years to fight to stay alight?
Why are you here?
Your welfare, your reclamation. Take heed. Rise and walk with me.
Good heaven! I was bred in this place. I was a boy here.
These are but shadows of things that have been. They have no consciousness of us.
Why, there's Henry and Elijah and Mortimer. I could name all of these imps as if they were my brothers.
The school is not quite deserted. A solitary child, neglected by his friends, is left there still.
I know.
My dear brother, I have come to bring you home. Dear brother.
Home, little fan.
Yes, home, for good and all. Home for ever and ever. Father is so much kinder than he used to be. That home's like heaven. He spoke so gently to me one dear night when I was going to bed, that I was not afraid to ask him once more if you might come home, and he said yes, you should, and sent me a coach to bring you. And you're to be a man, and to never come back here, but first we're to be together all the Christmas long, and have the merriest time in all the world.
You are quite a woman, little fan.
Always a delicate creature, whom a breath might have withered.
But she had a big heart.
So she had. You're right. I will not gainsay it, Spirit. God forbid.
She died a woman, and had, as I think, children.
One child.
True. Your nephew.
Yes.
You know this place?
Know it? Why, I apprenticed here. Why, it's old Fezziwig, bless his heart. It's Fezziwig alive again.
Yo-ho there, Ebenezer. No more work tonight. Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, Ebenezer. Clear away and let's have lots of room here. Cheer up, Ebenezer. Clear away!
A small matter to make these silly folks so full of gratitude.
Small?
Why, is it not? Has he spent but a few pounds of your mortal money? 3 or 4, perhaps? Is that so much that he deserves such reverence?
It isn't that, Spirit. He had the power to render us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or burdensome, a pleasure or a toil. Say that his power lies in words and looks, in things so slight and insignificant that it is impossible to add and count them up. But then, the happiness he gives is quite as great as if it cost him a fortune.
What's the matter?
I would like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk just now. That's all.
My time grows short. Quick!
It matters little, to you very little. Another idol has displaced me, and if it can cheer and comfort you in time to come, as I would have tried to do, I have no just cause to grieve.
What idol has displaced you?
A golden one.
This is the even-handed dealing of the world. There is nothing on which it is so hard as poverty, and there is nothing it professes to condemn with such severity as the pursuit of wealth.
You fear the world too much. All your other hopes have merged into the hope of being beyond the chance of its sordid approach. I have seen your noble aspirations fall off one by one, until the master passion, gain, engrossed you. Have I not?
What then? Even if I have grown so much wiser, what then? I am not changed towards you, am I?
Our contract is an old one. It was made when we were both poor and content to be so, until, in good season, we could improve our worldly fortune by our patient industry. You are changed. When it was made, you were another man.
I was a boy.
Your own feeling tells you that you were not what you are. I am. That which promised happiness when we were in one heart is fraught with misery now that we are two. How often and how keenly I have thought of this, I will not say. It is enough to say that I have thought of it, and can release you.
Have I ever sought release?
In words? No, never.
In what then?
In changed nature, in altered spirit, in another atmosphere of life, another hope as its great end, in everything that made my love of any worth or value in your sight. If this had never been between us, tell me, would you seek me out and try to win me now? No. And I release you with a full heart, for the love of him you once were. You may, the memory of what is past, half makes me hope you will have pain in this. A very, very brief time, and you will dismiss the recollection of it, gladly, as an unprofitable dream, from which it happened well that you awoke. May you be happy in the life you have chosen.
Spirit, show me no more. Conduct me home. Why do you delight to torture me?
One shadow more.
No more. No more. I don't wish to see it. Show me no more.
Come closer, Scrooge. Come and know me better, man. I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. You have never seen the like of me before.
Never.
Have never walked forth with the younger members of my family, for I am very young. All my elder brothers born in these later years.
I don't think I have. I'm afraid I have not. Have you many brothers, Spirit?
More than 1,800.
A tremendous family to provide for. Spirit, conduct me where you will. I went forth last night on compulsion, and I learned a lesson which is working now. Tonight, if you have aught to teach me, let me profit by it.
Touch my robe.
What has ever happened to Bob and Tiny Tim?
Merry Christmas, darling.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Bob. And how did Tiny Tim behave?
As good as gold, and better. Somehow he gets thoughtful sitting by himself so much, and he thinks the strangest things you've ever heard. He told me, coming home, that he hoped that people saw him in the church, and it might be pleasant to them to remember upon Christmas Day who made beggars walk and blind men see.
Aye, come now then, Bob. Come now then, children. The feast is ready.
Now, children, bow your heads. For what we are about to receive, may the Lord make us truly thankful. Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us.
God bless us, everyone.
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see an empty seat in the poor chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
No, no! Oh no, kind Spirit, say he will be spared!
If these shadows remain unaltered, none other of my race will find him here. What then? If he be like to die, He had better do it and decrease the surplus population. Man, will you decide what men shall live, what men shall die? It may be that in the sight of heaven you are more worthless and less fit to live than millions like this poor man's child.
Now, everybody, raise a glass to the founder of the feast, Mr. Scrooge.
Ha! The founder of the feast, indeed. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and I don't be have a good appetite for it.
My dear, the children, Christmas Day.
It should be Christmas Day, I am sure, on which one drinks to the health of such an odious, stingy, odd-unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Robert, and nobody knows it better than you do, poor fellow.
My dear, Christmas Day.
I drink to his health for your sake and the day's, not for his. Long life to him. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And he'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt.
And how about a song from our very own Tiny Tim?
Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn
He said that Christmas was a humbug, and as I live, he believed it too.
More shame for him, Fred.
He's a comical old fellow, that's the truth, and not so pleasant he might be. However, his offences carry their own punishment, and I have nothing to say against him.
I'm sure he's very rich, Fred. At least you always tell me so.
What of that, my dear? His wealth is of no use to him. He don't do any good with it. He doesn't make himself comfortable with it. He hasn't the satisfaction of thinking that he is ever going to benefit us with it.
I have no patience with him.
Oh, I have. I feel sorry for him. I couldn't be angry with him if I tried. Who suffers ill by his whims? Himself, always. Here, he takes it into his head to dislike us, and he won't come and dine with us. So what's the consequence? He don't lose much of a dinner.
Indeed, I think he loses a very good dinner.
Aye, delicious.
Well, I'm very glad to hear it. I was only going to say that the consequence of his taking a dislike to us and not making merry with us is, as I think, that he loses some pleasant moments which could do him no harm. I mean, to give him the same chance every year and saying, "Uncle Scrooge, how are you?" If it only puts him in the vein to leave his poor clerk £50, that's something. Come, let's play a game of yes and no.
Oh, how delightful! Is it an animal?
Yes.
A nice animal?
Oh, no.
Is it a bear?
I'll give you a clue. It grunts and growls sometimes. It doesn't appreciate company, and it lives in London, but isn't slaughtered or sold at the market.
An ass?
Oh, worse.
A pig?
Oh, far too nice.
A ball?
Oh, no! I have it! It's your Uncle Scrooge!
Yes! He has given us plenty of merriment, I am sure, and it would be ungrateful not to drink to his health. Here is a glass of mulled wine ready to our hand at the moment, and I say, Uncle Scrooge!
Uncle Scrooge!
A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to the old man. He wouldn't take it from me. That may he have it nevertheless. Uncle Scrooge!
My life upon this globe is very brief, Ebenezer. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight at midnight. Hark! The time is drawing near.
Forgive me if I am not justified in what I ask, but I see something strange and not belonging to yourself protruding from your skirts. Is it a foot or a claw?
It might be a claw, for the flesh there is upon it. Look here. Oh, man, look here. Look down here.
Spirit, are they yours?
They are man's, and they cling to me, appealing from their fathers. This boy is ignorance, this girl is want. Beware them both, but most of all beware this boy, for on his brow I see doom, unless the writing be erased. Deny it, slander those who tell it ye, and abide the end.
Have they no refuge to resource?
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
I am in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You are about to show me shadows of things that have not happened, but will happen in the time before us. Is that so, Spirit? Ghost of the future, I fear you more than any spectre I have seen. But as I know your purpose is to do me good, and as I hope to live to be another man from what I was, I am prepared to bear your company, and do so with a thankful heart. Will you not speak to me? Lead on. The night is waning fast, and it is precious time to me, I know. Lead on, Spirit.
No, I don't know much about it either way. I only know he's dead.
Oh, when did he die?
Last night, I believe.
Why, what was the matter with him? I thought he'd never die.
Oh, God knows.
What has he done with his money?
I haven't heard. Left it to his company, perhaps. He hasn't left it to me. That's all I know. Oh, it's likely to be a very cheap funeral, for upon my life, I don't know of anybody to go to it. Suppose we make up a party and volunteer.
I don't mind going if lunch is provided, but I must be fed.
Well, I am the most disinterested among you, for I never wear black gloves and I never eat lunch. But I'll offer to go, if nobody else will. When I come to think of it, I'm not at all sure if I wasn't his most particular friend, for we used to stop and speak whenever we met. Goodbye.
How are you?
How are you?
Oh, Scrooge has got his own at last, eh?
So I'm told. Cold, isn't it?
Oh, seasonable for Christmas time. You're not a skater, I suppose.
Oh, no. Something else to think of. Good morning.
Let the charwoman alone be the first, let the laundress alone be the second, and the undertaker's man alone be the third. Look here, old Joe, here's a chance. If we haven't all three met here without meaning it.
What odds then? What odds, Mrs. Dilber? Every person has a right to take care of themselves. He always did.
That's true indeed. No man more so.
Why then, don't stand staring as if you was afraid, woman. Who's the wiser? We're not going to pick holes in each other's coats, I suppose.
No, indeed.
We should hope not.
Very well then, that's enough. Who's the worse for the loss of a few things like these? Not a dead man, I suppose.
No, indeed.
If he wanted to keep 'em after he was dead, wicked old screw, why wasn't he natural in his lifetime? If he had been, he'd have had somebody to look after him when he was struck with death instead of lying gasping alone by himself.
It's the truest word that ever was spoke. It's a judgment on him.
And I wish it was a little heavier judgment, and it should have been. You may depend on it if I could have laid my hands on anything else. Open that bundle, old Joe, let me know the value of it. Speak out plain.
What'd you call this? Bed curtains?
That's right, bed curtains.
You don't mean to say you took 'em down, rings and all, with him lying there?
Yes, I do. Why not?
You were born to make your fortune, and you'll certainly do it.
I certainly shan't hold my hand when I can get anything in it by reaching out for the sake of such a man as he was. I promise you, Joe. Look at these blankets, Joe.
His blankets?
Well, whose else's do you think? He isn't likely to take cold without him, I dare say.
I hope he didn't die of anything catching, eh?
Don't you be afraid of that. I ain't so fond of his company that I'd loiter about him for such things if he did. And you may look through that shirt till your eyes ache, but you won't find an hole in it nor a threadbare place. It's the best he had, and a fine one too. And they'd have wasted it if it hadn't been for me.
What do you call wasting it?
Putting it on him to be buried in, to be sure. Somebody was fool enough to do it, but I took it off again. He can't look uglier than he did in that one. That's the end of it, you see. He frightened everyone away when he was alive, to profit us when he was dead.
Spirit, I see. The case of this unhappy man may be my own. My life tends that way now. If we leave these places now, I shall not leave their lessons.
The colour hurts my eyes. They're better now again. It makes them weep by candlelight, and I wouldn't show weak eyes to your father when he comes home for the world. It must be near his time.
Pass it rather. But I think he has walked a little slower than he used to.
I have known him walk with Tiny Tim upon his shoulder very fast indeed. But he was very light to carry, and your father loved him so that it was no trouble. No trouble. and here's your father at the door. You went today, then?
Yes, my dear. I wish you could have gone. It would have done you good to see how green a place it is. But you'll see it often. I promised him that I would walk there on a Sunday. My little child. My little child.
Father.
And I know, my dears, that when we recollect how patient and how mild he was, although he was a little child, we shall not quarrel easily among ourselves and forget Tiny Tim in doing it.
No, never, Father.
I'm very happy. I'm very happy.
Spectre, something informs me that our parting moment is at hand. I know it, but I know not how. Before I draw near to that stone to which you point, answer me one question. Are these the shadows of the things that may be only? Men's courses shall foreshadow certain ends to which, if preserved in, they must lead. But if the courses be departed from, the end will change. Say it is thus with what you show me. A grave. No, Spirit, oh no, no, Spirit, hear me. I am not the man I was. Why show me this if I am past all hope? Assure me that I may change these shadows you have shown me by an altered life. I will honour Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive with me. I will not shut out the lessons they teach. Yes, my room, my chair, my supper. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirit of all three shall strive within me. O Jacob Marley, heaven and Christmas time be praised for this. I say it on my knees, O Jacob, on my knees. My shirt, not sold, it is here. I am here. The shadows of the things that would have been may be dispelled. They will be. I know they will. I don't know what to do. I'm as light as a feather. I'm as happy as an angel. And as merry as a schoolboy. I'm as giddy as a drunken man. It's all right. It's all true. It's all happened. Oh, I don't know what day of the month it is. I don't know how long I've been among the spirits. I don't know anything. I'm quite a baby.
Good morning, Mr. Scrooge.
What's today?
Pardon, Mr. Scrooge?
What's today, my fine woman?
Today? Why, it's Christmas Day.
It's Christmas Day. I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. They can do anything they like. Of course they can. All in one night. Why, I must go out.
But your nightgown, sir.
My nightgown. Oh, why, yes, my nightgown. May I have the honour of this dance?
Oh, mad, you've gone mad. Why, if you don't calm down, I'll be calling for the beadle.
Not mad, my dear woman. Changed. Oh, changed for the better. Now, how much do I pay you?
2 shillings a week, sir. And I won't take a penny less.
A penny less, you say? Well, how about I make it 10 shillings a week?
10 shillings? But do you want me to call a doctor, sir?
A doctor? No. I want you to go home. Go home and spend Christmas with your family.
Oh, yes, sir. Merry Christmas, sir.
Boy, I say boy.
Yes, sir.
Do you know the poulterers in the next street but one?
I should hope I did.
An intelligent boy, a remarkable boy. Do you know whether they've sold the prize turkey that was hanging there? The big one?
What, the one as big as me?
What a delightful boy. It really is a pleasure talking to you. Go and buy it, and bring it here that I may give you direction where to take it. Come back within less than 5 minutes, and I'll give you half a crown.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir.
I'll send it to Bob Cratchit's. He shan't know who sent it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim. No man's ever made such a joke as sending it to Bob's will be. Why, there's the charity collectors who came to my office yesterday. My dear sirs! Oh, how do you do? I hope you succeeded yesterday. It was very kind of you. A Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Mr. Scrooge.
That is my name, and I fear it may not be pleasant to you. Allow me to ask your pardon, and will you have the goodness...
Lord bless me! My dear Mr. Scrooge, are you serious?
If you please. Not a farthing less. A great many back payments are included in it, I assure you. Will you do me that favour?
My dear sir, I don't know what to say to
Don't say anything, please. Come and see me. Will you come and see me?
I will.
Oh, thank you. I'm much obliged to you. I thank you 50 times. Bless you.
Sir!
Why, here's the turkey. It's as big as you. You must take this wonderful bird to one Bob Cratchit's house. Why, it's impossible to carry that all the way to Camden Town. You must take a cab. Merry Christmas. Fred?
Oh, bless my soul, who's that?
It's I, your Uncle Scrooge. I have come to dinner. Will you let me in, Fred?
Let you in? Let you in? You are most welcome. Merry Christmas!
Cratchit, what do you mean by coming in here at this time of day?
I'm very sorry, sir. I'm behind on my time.
You are? Yes, I think you are. Step this way, sir, if you please.
It's only once a year, sir. It should not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir.
Now, I'll tell you what, my friend. I'm not going to stand for this sort of thing any longer. And therefore, I'm about to raise your salary.
Mr. Scrooge.
A Merry Christmas, Bob. A merrier Christmas, Bob, my good fellow, than I have ever given you for many a year. I'll raise your salary and endeavour to assist your struggling family, and we'll discuss your affairs this very afternoon over a Christmas bowl of smoky bishop, Bob. Make up the fires and buy another coal shuttle before you dot another I, Bob.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all, and infinitely more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, as good a man as the good old city knew, or any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world. Some people laughed to see the change in him, but he let them laugh, as his own heart laughed. It was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas as well as any man alive. May that be truly said of us, and all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone.
A Christmas Carol was presented by Theatre Adhoc. It was written by Charles Dickens and adapted for radio by Andrew Pippen. Ebenezer Scrooge was played by Rob Comben. Fred and the Spirit of Christmas Past were played by Jonathan Willis. Lyndon House played the first charity collector. The second charity collector, Belle, and the laundress were played by Miriam Lusk. Bob Cratchit was played by Simon Shelford, and Jill Lewis played Mrs. Cratchit. The Ghost of Jacob Marley and Old Joe were played by Colin McCorkingdale, and the Ghost of Christmas Present was played by Peter Winter. Mrs. Fred and the Charlady were played by Joe Hamilton. The narrator and Fezziwig were played by Andrew Pippin. The Boy in the Street was played by Sam Alford, and Little Fan was played by Rebecca Alford. The Child Scrooge and Tiny Tim were played by Isaac Maynell Sylvester. The play was directed by Andrew Pippin and produced by Nick Jones and Jacob Strong. A Christmas Carol is a Magic Gyratory production in association with Theatre Adhoc.